Hi, Berclair Bears. This is Miss Anderson, and I'm with you again for another foundational skills lesson. Now, today's lesson is going to be pretty short, so it shouldn't take you long at all, but I think it'll be really, really helpful for you in your reading future. We are going to focus today on prefixes, re, un, and dis. And the state standard that we are adhering to is that we can use common, grade-appropriate Greek and Latin affixes and roots as clues to the meaning of a word. You're due now today. I want you to use what you know to try and uncover the meaning of these words. Replace, displease, and undo. Now, if you're struggling, I want you to think back to this year when we did talk about prefixes and try to use what you remember. Or you could also really think about the root word that you see. What does that root word mean? Now, if you need more time, feel free to pause your screen and think about it a little bit longer. We're going to go ahead and move on. And then as we go through the lesson, you'll kind of learn the meanings of these words and you'll be able to find out if you were correct. So stay tuned. Now, what do we use prefixes for? Prefixes are really helpful for us as readers because almost always you will encounter words that you don't know. And prefixes are going to help you to uncover that word's meaning. For example, if you know what re means when you see it at the beginning of a word, then it's going to help you in the future if you come across a word that you maybe don't know, but you do recognize that prefix, okay? So prefixes, as a definition, are just a group of letters or an affix added to the beginning of the word to help change the meaning. For example, in this word right here, the word is unread. Now, I know what read means, right? It's read, but in the past tense. So if something is unread, that is, that thing has not been read. Super simple and really, really, really helpful for uncovering words I don't know. So we're going to look first at re as a prefix. So what do these words have in common? What do you think the prefix re means? Now, I did give you a little bit of a picture clue kind of on the side there. But I want you to look at these words, just take a second. What they have in common would be the prefix, right? But that second question is, what do you think that prefix means based on what you know about these words? Okay, so I'm going to read through these words with you for a second. Replace, rewind, refresh, rebuild, restart, and recall. A couple of really good examples from this that are going to help me to figure out what re means, I would say are rebuild and restart. And let me explain why. So if you look at the word rebuild, you have two pieces here. You have re and then you have build. Now to build something, we all know, is to construct, right? If I rebuild it, what am I doing? I'm doing it over again. Good. What about restart? Yeah, I'm starting it over again. Okay, so we know now that re means again or back. For example, if we're talking about rewind, let's say you and I are watching a movie together and there's your favorite part and you accidentally missed it because you got up to go get the popcorn for us. If I rewind it, I'm going back to watch the same part again, right? To make sure that you don't miss your favorite part. So I want you to really think through using what you now know that re means. How is that going to help you to figure out the meanings of these words? Feel free to take a second, pause the slide, and really spend some time on that. We're going to move on to the next prefix. Okay, what do these words have in common? Once again, we have the prefix in common, right? Un. What do you think the prefix un means? Now, I, again, included kind of a picture clue over here, but let's see if we can figure out which one is going to be the most helpful for us. Let's say uneven. So that's that word at the bottom here, uneven. Now, let's say that you and I are having a picnic and I made my most delicious, most famous pasta salad dish. And so I start scooping pasta into my bowl and I start scooping pasta into your bowl. And you say to me, Miss Anderson, that's uneven. You got more than me. What am I saying? Or what are you saying if you say that they're uneven? Even would mean that they have the same amount, right? But meaning that they are not even, they do not have the same amount. So not even, right? Try to apply what you just learned to the rest of those words. Oops, sorry. So not used, not paid, not planned, not true, okay? And then let's look at dis. So dis is another really common prefix, and I made a little bit of a mistake right here. Dis should be right here for that second question. We all know these words now have in common that prefix, right? Dis. What do these words have in common? We just answered that. And then what do you think the prefix dis means? Sorry, dis. So the words I have here are dislike, distrust, disorder, displease, and discolor. Go ahead and try to repeat the process we used for the first two. Find a word in there whose root you do know, and then try to figure out what does that prefix mean based on what I know about the word. Not or none. So if I dislike something, I do not like it. If I distrust someone, I do not trust them. If there is disorder in a room, it means it's really chaotic, right? There's no order. Okay, so use what you know. Try to uncover those last two, displease and discolor. If you need a little bit more time, feel free to pause your screen. And we're going to go ahead and move on. So this is the curriculum we use for foundational skills this year. So this should look really familiar to you guys. I want you to go ahead and practice. And if you look over here, you'll see a bunch of words. And some of these are ones you've already seen because I've shown them to you. But you'll see a bunch of words that begin with those three prefixes, un, re, and dis. Okay? You are going to go ahead and on a sheet of notebook paper or on any blank paper that you have at home, I want you to do your best to fill in all the blanks, writing the words that best complete these sentences. And if you don't know what they mean, feel free to go back through this video to try to figure out the meaning of those words using the prefix. So this says, look how this room is, my dad said. I said that I had cleaned it earlier, but he told me that I needed to the whole thing. I didn't want to so I just started to organize some of the I noticed right away that a shelf of books was sagging, and so I decided that I would try to the whole bookcase. I started to all of the books onto the floor and took the bookcase apart. This task took longer than cleaning the room would have taken. George, exclaimed my father, that I asked you an hour ago to clean your room. Now I remember why I cleaning. Okay. So if I look at the top, look how this room is. Which word might I use if he's asking his kid to clean the room is probably untidy. Tidy means that it's orderly and everything is in its place. If it's untidy, I know that means not, so I'm going to say not tidy. So untidy would go in this first space here. Okay, so now I want you to go ahead and I want you to complete the rest on your own. Feel free to pause your screen to do so, and then you can text me a picture of this or send it to my email or send it to me on Dojo once you are finished. Thank you so much, fourth graders. Awesome job today, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon.